everyone. This is Henny Espinosa with Justice Foundation. I am so delighted that today we are joined by the president of an organization, a nonprofit organization that protects canine officers that also protect us. Thank you so much for joining us, Leah Tornabin of Brady's Canine Fund. Thank
Yes.
you, Leah.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Leah, let's talk about kind of how all of this started. And it started with an idea and a concern from your then 8-year-old son, Brady. So tell us, what was Brady's concern at 8 years old?
This all started while Brady was watching one of his favorite police TV shows. And when the canines came on the show, he always got excited. That was his favorite part. And one day he just realized that they didn't have body armor like the human officers. And he didn't understand why. So after we looked into it, we realized that they don't automatically receive these ballistic vests. So we started a GoFundMe, and he wanted to raise $1,200 just to buy one dog a vest. And here we are a few years later, and he's raised enough to buy 688 vests.
Wow. So did Brady grow up in a household where really dogs were, is a dog loving household? Is that why he has such love and concern for canine officers?
Yes, he not only loves dogs, but he loves all kinds of animals. That was his favorite thing growing up. But he also had a mixture of love for the police. He would be in full uniform every day. And when he would go to preschool, he only demanded to be called Officer Brady. So he went many years being an officer in his mind, and the love of animals, that mixture, he just latched on and always loved the police canines and their handlers.
So Leah, talk to us kind of the situation, the reality in our local law enforcement that really makes this problem pressing, and that our canine officers are not always protected. Why is there such a funding problem in local law enforcement when it comes to this?
So the canines, the departments that are the canines out of the police, they are run typically by donation only. City budgets and state budgets, their money is very tight. Canines are always last on the list. So when it comes to equipment, they don't have the funds to go out and buy these pieces of equipment, which is pretty surprising, right? Now they all love the canines, the whole department as a whole, but unfortunately the funding just isn't there for some pieces of equipment, and ballistics vests being one of them. So that's where nonprofits come in to help out.
Give us an idea of kind of, we always see a canine officer, with the police officer, everywhere trying to do their job, but I don't think a lot of people really understand the depth and the scope of what these canine officers do for us. Can you give us an idea of what they do for our community to keep us safe?
Yeah, they're very vital to the communities, throughout the United States and really the world. But those who are watching, I'm sure you have a canine in your city, if not the border of your city. And what these canines do is they get the drugs off the streets. They help find missing people. If somebody is out there and lost, or a child has gone missing, they can track where that person has gone. They also go in and they could find items such as handguns, knives, drugs that might have been thrown on a pursuit, to make sure nobody comes across that. And most importantly, they are the first line of defense for our human officers. So whenever you hear that, SWAT has to be called in, or there is a serious apprehension that needs to be done, the human officers will send in the canine as a tool so that that person, the goal is not to hurt that suspect. So they send the dog in to take down that suspect so that the police can rush in and apprehend the person in a safe manner. Now, sometimes that suspect will injure the canine, but it allows the police to take charge of that situation and get it under control. But that's where the ballistic vests come in, because they are the first line of defense and they need that protection, right? Because that person usually being apprehended is not following directions or is out to hurt someone.
Yeah.
Or their themselves.
And as you mentioned, like, not a lot of these dogs are really not protected at all. A lot of these dogs, who are there doing in the most dangerous situations, really need to be protected. So tell us a little bit about these ballistic vests,
Sure.
and what do they do? And as you mentioned, they cost $1,200 each.
Yes.
US dollars. Okay.
They're $1,200 to donate one through us. Now, if you were to go out and just buy it directly, it's $1,500. But we buy such a bulk that we're able to help more canines with that price. Now, the ballistic vest that we donate is the LOF, the Street Fighter. Okay, what this is, it's very new technology on the market. Ballistic vests back in the day used to be very heavy, very cumbersome, neck to tail. The dogs didn't like to wear them. They wouldn't be able to do their job in an efficient manner. LOF has gone and taken that vest and all its good and dropped it down dramatically as far as weight, and it covers just their vital organs. This way the dogs have full momentum and mobility to do their jobs. It is ballistic proof. It is stab proof, and it also has a flotation ability. So those like in California and Florida, where there's a lot of ponds, lakes, that type of thing, they're going through those waters quite often. This allows them to have a little bit of a safety issue as well, a safety net, I should say. With the ballistic vest, canine handlers have to take off their ballistic vest, put on tracking harness, put back the ballistic vest. This one is all in one. So when that handler has to, tether on and do that track, he doesn't have to change the vest. It's there all the time. So he's staying protected all the time.
50,000 working dogs in the United States. And Leah, your organization is saying that really there's a lot to be done when it comes to protecting these canine officers. Are most of them unprotected at this point?
Yeah, there's quite a bit that are unprotected. We get pretty much daily a request for a vest. The handlers reach out to us via our website, and they are the ones requesting some protection for their partner. Now, that tells me there's a lot of dogs out there that do not have this body armor by just coming to us. And there's others that do this, but we specialize in just donating the top-notch vest. So we get so many requests that clearly there's a lot of dogs out there that don't have this.
So let's start with the GoFundMe campaign. You mentioned that after Brady expressed concern about this. Obviously, this is a big undertaking, but you guys took it on and you went to GoFundMe and raised some money. How did the community react, and kind of where are you guys at in terms of really getting the community to be engaged in this cause?
Yeah. So we started on GoFundMe, like you had mentioned, and our end goal was one vest. But it just so happened that someone had shared it to our local news. And our local people just loved the idea. They thought it was a great idea on Brady's part, and we raised enough for 4 vests. After that, we had a little problem on our hands. We had more handlers reach out for one of those vests than we did vests. So Brady had to make the decision, either pick one of those handlers and let some of them go, or just continue to fundraise. He decided to choose to continue to fundraise. He didn't like to say no to anybody. After a full year went, I turned to him and I said, Brady, we can't keep doing GoFundMe. You have to either turn this into an organization, or we have to, just stop altogether. And he's like, do we have any handlers waiting? I said, yes. And he's like, well, we're turning it into an organization then. And that's what we did. And here we are. We're still on path to helping canines every week receive body armor. And so he's got 688 down.
Wow, that is so awesome. And of course, I think the important part is also getting the word out, because when I heard about you guys, I never even thought of it. About our canine officers that way. I love dogs, but
right.
You don't think that they're not protected. And I think getting the word out is also so important, so that more and more people know about your cause. More and more people also do something within their own communities, or through you guys, and do you guys partner with local law enforcement? Is it just locally, or has this become a kind of a broader kind of
case? Yeah, no, we are broad. We've always stayed within the United States. Anybody who has requested one, we help. We have had to do a few out of the country just because we can't say no for a dog getting some, protections. How are we going to turn one away? So we've helped in Sweden, the UK, Afghanistan, Canada, and can't remember one more. But so
it is expanding and growing.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, all of this, we don't just do it for the canine handlers and their partners, but it is a learning, it's something to teach the communities, as you said, that they are so important, these dogs, because they do so much for their community that they don't even know. They think, oh, they go out and they take drugs off the street. They are so much more broad than that. And then they always think, well, they automatically get the equipment because, they work for the department, and it doesn't work that way. So this is a big learning process as well for teaching people.
Where do you want to hope, where do you hope to bring Brady's Canine Fund, Leah? Like, what are the future plans for the nonprofit?
So I've spoke to Brady a few times about this, and Brady has been asked this quite a lot. And I've asked, do you want to make it more that we do multiple things? And his answer is always no. We have so many handlers reaching out to us for our vest that there really isn't a point to do something else, because that need is so prominent. So for right now, we are just sticking to offering them a great vest for the handlers. But one thing we do is we donate the ability for the handlers to go get some training. So additional learning and keeping up with everyday stuff, because this world is revolving like crazy, right? Crime's going up. They have to learn new, policies, procedures, and how to use the canines. So we do that. We'll send them to seminars and things like that.
Great. That's so awesome. So when I heard about you guys, I was so inspired. And our founder, Mr. Jacku, is also so inspired by what you do in the community. And I think that's right. It's Brady's right. And you guys, it's the right direction that you focus on this particular pressing problem, and not do too much, because as it is such a big problem, as it is. And it's a need that you guys are fulfilling. And for that, you guys are just, more power to you guys for doing that. And And that is why we want to support you guys too. We want to do our part and send in a monetary donation to Brady's Canine Fund. And I hope more and more in the community hears about your cause.
Yeah.
And also, do their part in helping our canine officers, because they really, really do a lot for our communities. They save lives. They're our heroes, and for that, the least we can do is protect them when they do their job.
And they're so cute.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Leah. I appreciate you. And maybe we should show our canines. Oh,
yeah.
There you go. They're not canine officers, but they're our we're dog lovers.
They support dogs.
They support dogs. And to all our canine officers, we love you and thank you for what you do for them, Leah. More power to you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.